Move on to our coach, next coach of the morning, the head coach of the Presbyterian College Blue Hose, Harold Nichols. Morning, Coach.
Good morning, Mark.
PC had a late lead, or had a fourth quarter lead going into the fourth against Western Carolina, but fell to the Catamounts. You are back at it this Saturday on the road again, heading to number 1 Coastal Carolina in your conference opener. If you can open up, talk about the game against Western Carolina, we'll start taking questions.
Yeah, it was a tough ball game. I thought both teams played really, really hard and in adverse conditions, but you got to give Western Carolina a lot of credit. They made the plays in the fourth quarter and we didn't, and came out on top. We turned the ball over a couple times there in the first half. It kind of set us back. But it felt like we were able to run the ball some and make some throws down the field that helped us. But at the end of the day, you got to make plays in the fourth quarter in order to win games on the road, and we were unable to do that against a good Western team. And they've got an outstanding quarterback that we had a hard time hemming up, and their back got out on us on a run there in early in the fourth quarter that we didn't fit it very well, and he spit it out and we couldn't catch him. But really good football game. I thought, like I say, both teams played really hard, and for the few fans that were there, I'm sure they were able to watch a really good game. We turned the page to Coastal Carolina, and get so much respect for Coach Mobley and what they've been able to do down there. They're an outstanding football team. They're very deserving of their number 1 ranking. They do a lot of great things on both sides of the ball. Very impressed with their quarterback. It seems like he's been there forever, and he's just a great operator. I think they're averaging almost 38 points a game, and they've played a really good schedule up to this point, and so very deserving of all the accolades that they've gotten. So it's going to be a huge challenge for us. I think our kids understand the opportunity that we've got in front of us, and we've got to do a good job getting prepared to go down there and play a really good team, and one that for all the things that they do well, the thing that probably is key to their success. They don't turn the ball over. They take care of the football on offense, and they create turnovers on defense, and that's turnover margin is a big part of it, and so that really puts them in a good position. So huge challenge for us, but we're looking forward to the opportunity of going down there and playing.
All right, Coach, at this time we'll start taking questions for you. To ask a question, please press *1 on your phone at any time, or click the Q&A link near the top of your browser and click Raise Hand if you join us via the web. And, Coach, talk a little bit more about the elements that you guys endured. I know both teams had to play in it on Saturday at Western Carolina. But was there any point in time during the game where the rain was worse than others that may have impacted what you were able to do?
Yeah, it's funny. The weather forecast up there was a little bit better than it is down in South Carolina. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm telling you, the folks down here in the Midlands, here in the state of South Carolina, are really going through a lot of terrible things. There's been flooding here in the middle part of the state, and it's affected somewhat up towards us, but we were actually in a better place up there than we would have been if we'd have played at home. But to answer your question, during the time of the game, there were certain points where it was raining harder and the wind was a little bit of a factor at times. But surprisingly enough, I thought it would be a lot worse than what it was. But there were times, I guess, at the beginning of the third quarter when we put together one of our better drives in those conditions, which I was really proud of the way our kids performed out there and taking care of the ball with some center quarterback exchange, and we were actually able to throw the football some. And but weather was definitely a factor at times in the game, no doubt about it.
And I don't have his pronunciation, but you had a player on defense played really well, forced a fumble, 7 tackles. First name is it Obina?
Yeah, Obina Tasawe. Yeah, the end silent. Obina has really come on and really played well the last couple of weeks. Obina was the one that sacked the quarterback where he was able to fumble the football, and we were able to scoop and score with Ugana And you know, that's a big play in the game, and put us up a score. And you know, he's been really active. He's finally healthy. You know, he's had some injuries in his career here, and you know, he's finally able to kind of move around and, you know, show his athletic ability. And he's really been a good player, and he's really come on these last couple of weeks.
And looking ahead back to Coastal Carolina, you mentioned, you know, you've seen them for probably the longest of any of the current coaches. Obviously, all 4 years of Coach Mogley's tenure. You know, what do you see differently in? I mean, they're playing as well as they have in the past. What are some differences that you're still identifying on offense and defense?
Well, I think, you know, what they do is they execute. They execute on both sides of the ball. You know, like I say, you know, I mentioned Ross, their quarterback. You know what a good operator he is, and he's a cool customer back there, and you know, he seems to, you know, make the correct throws. They'll find your weakness and they'll exploit it. That's what good football teams do. And you know, they just execute at a high level. They've got good players, but you know, there's other teams that have good players too. But you know, the things that I'm most impressed with them is how they execute offensively and defensively. You know, Coach Mogley and his staff, they obviously do a great job of coaching situational football with their team, and they always seem to be in the right position to make those plays, you know. And so, again, I think, you know, over the course of the time, you know, it's not that they do more or they're doing a scheme that's different or you know, they just execute at a high level, and they exploit your weaknesses, and they attack them, and they're very good at doing that.
And my final question for you, Coach. You know, first conference game for both. First league game on the teal turf. Just what have you, has the team talked about playing on this new colored turf, or is it just something that they're overlooking?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that question again, Mark.
No, just the team is playing on the teal turf. You know, the new colored turf at Coastal Carolina. Just, you know, with all the hype around that in the preseason, just
right.
As you're preparing for it, how do you kind of just say, hey, it's a field no matter what, and move forward? How are you approaching that?
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be a unique experience. There's no doubt. I mean, I know that they're very excited about having it, and you know, it's brought some notoriety to them, and it's probably a great idea. But you know, I'm sure it's great field turf, and you know, it's one thing. You know, when we were up there at Western, you know, they were field turf, and you know, even under those abnormal conditions that we played in, you know, the footing was pretty good because, you know, it was field turf. So I think that you know, our kids will be excited about going down there and playing and being in that environment, because anytime you go on the road in the Big South, you know, you get a chance to play in some great arenas and some great atmospheres. I'm sure the atmosphere down there at Coast will be no different, and, you know, I'm sure that teal turf will play a part in it.
All right, Coach. I am not seeing any more questions for you, so we'll let you go. But thanks for joining us, and good luck Saturday at Coastal.
Thank you, Mark.
All right.